specialist, ain't none greater. By the erasure, gas and load as soon as I blaze ya. I'm second to none. Atlanta finest, that's the truth. If you want it, then bring it. Weak ass rapper, this is for you. There's never no pity. As the lyrical top explodes the booth, turning my city and witness the murderous nigga and the things these bitches do. Like this fine ass bitch, she had that monster fine head. The bitch was a freak 'cause I wanted to fuck, but she wanted to suck my dick instead. After her nest, she got to go. That's part of the game. Young dig, shut up them all about my bread and stack on my chains. On the dead, nigga, I know you cowards ain't talking to me, mugging at me like I won't do the things that I speak. Testing your seat, the wrath of my murderous team. That murder for cream and way up, yeah, on triple scale beams. Boy, stop. Been in the field, you can't see here. Boy, stop. Do you think that we care about them? Boy, stop. It's real life, so don't go there. Boy, stop. So what you saying when you roll down here? Boy, stop. I stay fresh, stay on my grill. Boy, stop. We been talking about big boy real. Boy, stop. You throw it off, it's tails that you live. Boy, stop. Now do you think they want to learn that day? Boy, stop.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. The weekend recap from this past weekend. What'd you do this weekend? Having some conversation about Myles Garrett, NFL draft this Thursday night. NBA talk from this past weekend. Just, having a lot of fun doing what we do here on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't forget, stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. At 1 p.m. today, the Jeff Fox Show returns, so stay tuned for that. All right, so we've been looking at the different positions, and we're going to jump back in the chat here in a second on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. I'm going to go from the top five, from 5 all the way down to one of my top 5 quarterbacks who I like, my personal opinion, coming out in the draft this Thursday night, or starting this Thursday night. Coming in at number 5 on my list is Brad Kaya. That's right. Bye, Felicia, her son. Quarterback out of Miami. Yeah. Quarterback coming out of Miami, 6'4", 214 pounds, steady. Been a starter for many years down at the University of Miami, coming out of California. In 2016, Kaya completed 62% of his passes. He specifically put together some great performances against some of the top teams on their schedule this past year. Played in a pro-style offense down there at the University of Miami. Once again, when he came out of high school, you got to remember about Brad Kaya. He was like the number 1 player in the country and then ended up going down and playing for the Miami Hurricanes. And once again, this year, another great year in relative terms. So I like Brad Kaya as the number 5 quarterback. A comparison to him, just off the top of my head, and I should have really thought about this a lot more, but runs in a pro-style quarterback type system, can make all of the throws, steady back there in the pocket, maybe a bigger Teddy Bridgewater, that type of player. Can really break down defenses, sees the field very well. So Brad Kaya, quarterback out of Miami, I like at number 5. And number 4, this kid, haven't seen a lot of him, obviously been seeing a lot of film of him lately, but don't watch a lot of Texas Tech games. But quarterback Pat Mahomes comes in at number 4 on my list. Just like many of you probably don't see a lot of Texas Tech games coming out of the Big 12, but you know what they do down there at Texas. They throw the ball all over the place. 6'2", 225 pounds, good size. And once again, Texas Tech, with all of the quarterbacks that have come out of there, they run a wide open system, 4 or 5 wide receivers, kind of like a spread type deal, where they run gadget plays or whatever. New style offense, like a new jack offense. And Pat Holmes really impressed me doing homework on this guy, I guess you would say, in the little Gruden quarterback camp thing that he does. He looked very, very good out there and talking to John Gruden and breaking down tape and breaking down defenses. So Pat Mahomes, the little bit I've seen, I like him. A comparison to Pat Mahomes, a guy that can throw the ball, athletic as well. Maybe Drew Brees, where if he gets in the right system, and I think I've actually seen where they project him to go to the New Orleans Saints at the end of the first round. If he gets with a team that runs a system for him, kind of reminiscent of what he did in college, he could be a very good player. So I like Pat Mahomes at number 4. Coming in at number 3, University of Tennessee quarterback Josh Dobbs. Yeah. Josh Dobbs, 6'3", 216 pounds, ran a real fast 40 time, 4.64. They're saying that he's going to go anywhere between the 4th and 6th round. And once again, a lot of these people feel like that there's not going to be a quarterback, or there shouldn't be a quarterback taken in the first round. I highly disagree with that. We'll get to more of that here in a second. But Josh Dobbs, man, from the metro Atlanta area, really in the first couple of years, did some big things for the University of Tennessee as he became the starter. You can see all of the potential. A lot of why I don't think he was as successful as they could have been at Tennessee, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, was because of the personnel, coaching staff. There's a lot of factors on why I think Josh Dobbs wasn't even better. But this kid is super smart. Can make all of the throws. I've watched him play several times over the years, can make all of the throws. And he may end up being a better pro than he was a college player, because of the upside. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Russell Wilson, where Russell Wilson, he did good things at North Carolina State and then ultimately at Wisconsin, but you never saw him shine or make all of these dynamic, memorable highlight plays or whatever week in and week out. But Josh Dobbs, man, smart, is going to take care of the football. He completed 63% of his passes this year. He collected 10 rushing touchdowns, so he's got that dynamic where he can run the ball as well. One of those dual-threat quarterbacks, which a lot of people don't like, but I actually absolutely love. So Josh Dobbs comes in at number 3 on my list. Coming in at number 2, Deshaun Kaiser, the quarterback out of Notre Dame. 6'4", 233 pounds, the quote-unquote prototypical size quarterback, prototypical offense. A lot of plays they did run the spread there at Notre Dame with Brian Kelly, but, he can, the point I'm trying to make. He can make all of the throws from the pocket. He can run physical as well. The comparison to him, I've already seen this. I thought this as well, but I've seen many people say in media that the comparison to him and these scouts, these scouting services or whatever, that he's kind of like Cam Newton, but not Cam Newton. He's a poor man's Cam Newton. And, a lot of people feel like he should be the number 1 quarterback coming out this year. I don't. I like him. Based on how they pick quarterbacks in the past, Deshaun Kaiser should be a very high first-round draft pick if you need a quarterback especially as well. We'll see. So I like Deshaun Kaiser at number 2. The comparison is to Cam Newton. And the number 1 quarterback, y'all know what it is. I talked about it for the last 2 years. I mean, it's an easy choice. Number 1 quarterback should, coming out of college this year, should be, the number 1 quarterback taken off the board should be Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Deshaun Watson, 6'2", 221 pounds. Numbers just incredible. Dominating play and dominating performances against Alabama 2 years in a row. Nothing else needs to be said. Comparison, Deshaun Watson. How about Donovan McNabb? McNabb was very smart with the football. McNabb was the opposite of a Brett Favre, where he took a lot of chances. McNabb could run the football as well. Steady. Sure. We talked about it last week, man. I wish that Deshaun Watson would go to a team like Kansas City where he can get under a good coach like Andy Reid, and maybe that's why I kind of feel the comparisons to maybe Donovan McNabb, is because if he goes to the right system, he's a winner. Period, point blank. You can't even measure heart, but he is a winner. He's a gamer, which means when the lights turn on, he performs. Okay, a lot of quarterbacks kind of shy away in the bright lights. Not the case with Deshaun Watson, man. This kid should easily be the number one quarterback taken in the draft. So, to recap my top 5 quarterbacks coming out this year: Brad Kaya, quarterback from Miami; Pat Mahomes, quarterback from Texas Tech; Josh Dobbs, quarterback from Tennessee; Deshaun Kaiser at number 2 from Notre Dame, and the number 1 quarterback that should be taken this year is Deshaun Watson. Honorable mentions, guys that are going to get drafted kind of high. Mitch Trubisky, obviously, he's going to get drafted high. Most people, or a lot of people that you hear talk about in the media, saying Mitch Trubisky is going to be the number 1 quarterback. I don't even have my top 5 because I don't really know shit about Mitch Trubisky, because we really haven't seen or heard a lot about Mitch Trubisky as a starter at North Carolina. Just magically over the last couple of weeks and months, we started to hear about Mitch Trubisky, and somehow everybody has him at the top of the board. I don't get it. So to me, he's no better than any of these other cats that I have seen play at a high level. I really don't know anything about Mitch Trubisky, but they're saying he's going to be taken number 1. So I guess I'll give him honorable mention just for the sake of giving him honorable mention. Nathan Perriman. Who else? The C.J. Beathard kid. That's pretty much it, man. That's it. So let's stick to the top 5, man. Those are my top 5 quarterbacks coming out in the draft this Thursday night. What say you? From Gary G. Money Joyner, RCR, good question. Media won't quote Moon, but will quote Sapp. But blind people like Doug and people's chump Jay Clyde be like, you guys conspiracy ninjas. So somebody mentioned that earlier as well, that Warren Moon has basically come out and said that he doesn't get it, just like most of us, about Mitch Trubisky. And why is the media quoting Warren Moon but are quoting Booger McFarland and Warren Sapp? I don't know. They're not mutually exclusive. Well, don't act like that we don't call the media out on being biased. Maybe they are biased. But what does one have to do with the other? The fact that the media doesn't, put up in a spotlight Warren Moon's comments about Mitch Trubisky have nothing to do with comments from Warren Sapp about Myles Garrett. Okay, I agree with you, Gary G. Money Joyner, and whoever else said that earlier. Yeah, I wish the media would talk about Warren Moon saying, in as many words, that Mitch Trubisky, he shouldn't be the number 1 pick in the draft and he doesn't understand all of the hoopla around him. I agree with you. Now, what does one have to do with the other? Come on, man. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. So the fact that the media is showing bias against, allegedly, I guess what you guys are saying, they're showing bias against Warren Sapp, doesn't mean that they are wrong for not or reporting the story about Warren Moon's comments about Mitch Trubisky. They're not mutually exclusive. From Clay, I Ain't Passing Davis, it's a nitty beat. Oh, that last track